Mm-hmm.
See, isn't this so much more pleasant? Like
It's a smaller spout. Welcome back to Guy Wan's on Fleek. This week we're going to be talking about kettles, the different types, and I'm going to toss it over to Jason, who's going to start it for me.
Yep. So this was by request of Jack, and his question was to talk about kettles, different types, different shapes, variations of kettles. So right now we're going to start out with your conventional kettle, which is what you see in front of you. These two versions. I've got a Hamilton Beach from Costco, and I've got a Bonavita, and
From the Grace at Amazon.
I know from the Grace at Amazon. I actually got that at Williams and Sonoma. Yeah.
So he overpaid, is what he's trying to say.
It was Christmas sale, but anyways.
Right on. So electric kettles.
Yes, electric kettles. Basically, we're going to start out with that. We have two at the opposite ends of the spectrum, and I say that because of what they're made for. So to the left, we have the Hamilton Beach, which is just made to boil. So as you can see, it's got a short little stout, pretty big hole. So if you were ever to pour water out of it, it would probably be in a larger quantity. Versus the Bonavita, which has a gooseneck, as you can see, for accuracy. What I like about the Hamilton Beach is that it's very simple. It's very cost effective for people getting into it. I recommend something like this, maybe with a smaller stout. Spout, excuse me.
He's
Thank
so
you.
cute.
I know. But for the gooseneck, the Bonavita, I like it because you can adjust the temperature. So as you can see here, it comes with a little protector. You could change temperature.
Take the protector off so they can kind of see the inside.
You can still see it without the...
Just do it.
It's so much hassle. Look how much time I'm wasting doing this. Anyways, it's stuck. But anyways.
It's a variable temperature kettle, even though the gooseneck, I believe, was developed for the accuracy for pour over, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't really matter for tea. Unless you want to move the tea around.
Disagree.
Well, then you're going to have to explain why.
Well, I mean, it's accuracy counts depending on the vessel. So if you're using a small teapot like this, obviously using that wouldn't be ideal. If you're using the Gaia one like that, that's fine.
I see what you mean. I continue to disagree with you. Just because you can't be accurate with your flow doesn't mean that some people can't.
That's true. That's true. It just helps with the accuracy.
That's true.
I think most people get that for the temperature control because once you get into teas more, you like certain teas to be brewed at certain temperatures.
Yeah.
Whether if it's a type of tea or the region it's from, so you get to control that. It also holds the temperature too. So if you want it to be held at boiling point or like 180, there's an option for you to hold that kettle at that boiling temperature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have cheap plastic versions. They have nice stainless steel versions you can buy. The electric range is huge, and you don't have to get a Bonavita to get the temperature control. They have a bunch of sort of like I bet you Hamilton Beach has one too, where you can just you can pick either the temperature, or sometimes they'll even have like preset tea settings, so it'll be like green, black.
Mm-hmm.
So the electric range is quite big, but I don't think it matters as far as the type, unless you want to deal with accuracy.
Yeah, or temperature control. Essentially, we recommend starting out with the basic one that just boils it.
Yeah.
And then from there, if you want to get into it more, then, you could also get something more authentic and more, not authentic, but more precise.
Yeah.
Like the Bonavita.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'm going to mention, if you do go with a regular kettle that you can't control the temperature on, if you want to be able to more quickly reduce the temperature, if you have a green tea or maybe a white tea or something like that you want to treat more gently, all you have to do to take it down from boiling is put it into another vessel. So as soon as you pour it out of the pot into that secondary vessel, you drop the temperature about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take. I think it's actually like 18 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But and you can do that as many times to get down to whatever temperature you're trying to get to. So that's kind of a quick hack to be able to do it.
Yeah, well, there's other tricks to it. Like if I'm using that and that's my only option, the Hamilton Beach, After I boil it, I would open up the lid, maybe time it. So, if you leave it open for 2 minutes, it's going to drop down to 185 around that temperature. 3 minutes, 175, and so on.
You're so much more patient than I am.
It's only a few minutes, Erin.
It's too much. I have no chill.
I mean, I guess...
I have no chill when it comes to my tea.
I guess it's possible now with technology to take over the world in 2 minutes, right?
Totally.
If you really want to.
Absolutely.
You just need a laptop.
I'm sure there's some virus we can release.
But anyways, besides the electric kettle, there's also different kettle options. Unfortunately, we do not have some in front of us to show you, but they are the old school kettles. So, kind of the things you see within cowboy movies where they have like a ceramic or iron kettle, cast iron that you boil over a fire somewhere outdoors. And those are nice because similar to the ceramic teapots, the ceramic kettles kind of retain the same properties. The water you boil over time kind of is filtered or it gets a different flavor from the minerals in the clay of that teapot. So you kind of get that liveliness from the clay into the water for a ceramic, water kettle. But for something like cast iron, like Erin, what do you think with cast iron? Like how that would affect the water if you were to boil that?
Yeah, so if you're using something like a cast iron, maybe a kettle or a tetsubin or something like that, the iron will actually change the water because if you're boiling in something that's iron, you're probably going to get a little bit more iron into your water, which will change the flavor of the tea. I think probably for the better, but it depends on who you are and how you like your tea. But I really want to buy one of those so that I can boil my tea water and my tea at the same time and try it that way.
Yeah. Just to test
old
the
school.
difference. Yeah.
Old school when you boil your tea and your water at the same time. Or you add your tea into this giant pot of boiling water. Anyway.
I have a friend, she inherited her teapot or tea kettle from her grandmother, and it's a clay one that they've had in the family for over 40 years.
Wow.
And you could tell the difference, with those clay sediments. She says when she boils water and makes coffee with it, it tastes amazing compared to if she were to use one of these that she got from Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point in the future, I will show you the Eggo bar, which was a beautiful gift from some tea friends of mine. And we will do a samovar kind of kettle experience. So for those of you who don't know what a samovar is, it's a big, basically water boiler, and then you have a tea concentrate on top that you put into cups, and then you release extra hot water onto it to dilute it. And we'll have fun with that, I think. But there are many, many different kettles. They used to do the samovar with charcoal in the middle, like a charcoal stove almost. Now they do it electric. Everything's electric. But
gotta be conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. Before we end, I want to prove a point to Erin because she doesn't agree. So you have a little 100 milliliter teapot with a small little opening.
It's really beautiful.
The barbaric Hamilton Beach.
I may steal it later.
Look at this. I can't even. It's terrible. But,
yeah, but then you're gonna take that and you're gonna pour hot water on it.
We have accuracy. Look at that.
As you pour
isn't
over
that much
anyway.
more controlled? She doesn't understand. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time.
See you guys.